Good evening, everybody. Pleasant Halloween Eve to you all. Hopefully everybody is enjoying the day before Halloween, getting those costumes ready, those last-minute adjustments, last-minute purchases. If you're going to hand out candy or if you're going to be going trick-or-treating, please be safe out there. Augusta comes in 20-5, 7-3 in the conference play. They play host to the Queens Royals. This is not Queens, New York, folks. This is Queens out of Charlotte, North Carolina. They're 12-13. What a name to have, though. Going to be a test for Augusta. Augusta has won 3 in a row since my last visit. They lost to Georgia College last time I was here. They have since then beaten Flagler, Francis Marion, UNC Pembroke, and if they take care of business, could be the 2 seed going in the Peach Belt Conference tournament. J. Douglas Blake Collins here breaking it all down for you. Queens, by the way, since last week, last time I visited, which will be October 16th, that would be 3-1. Or 2-1 rather for Queens. So evenly matched teams, we figure Blake we should be in for a good one. Give me some keys and some things you saw in the last 3 games for Augusta.
Augusta's amping up their style of game, their style of match play that they've been executing all year long. Phenomenal footwork, deceptive eye work, worked wonders against Pembroke, and Pembroke's defense let them down a little bit, and then as Augusta scouted that out, they were a hawk, and they attacked and pierced the veil of the defense of Pembroke. Look for them to do a little bit of the same element here tonight. Now it's going to be interesting because the Queens defense works sort of along the same lines with really good footwork and an interesting setup. So that's going to be key to see how the offense matches up with the defense, and we'll see how the defense works as a unit like Augusta's does. They cover everybody as much as they can on every level on the volleyball court, and that's a key because when you have an offense and a defense working as a unit and on a defense on an attack mind as Augusta has been doing all year long, that is where they become extremely dangerous. And for a team that you don't get to see very often here at the Chris in Queens, that is going to be it's going to be jeopardy for them to see if they can kind of counteract that. Now, Queens and Augusta usually see each other either in Charlotte or in tournament play. This is every couple of years they'll shoot on down to the Chris. So it's going to be a pivotal matchup, yes, for seeding as you covered, and it is going to be an extremely well-played matchup because Queens all the way around is thorough, as is AU. It's going to boil down to execution, heart, and tenacity, covering each individual spot on the court and who wants these points more.
Absolutely. It comes down to willpower sometimes. Taking a look at this Queens roster, kill leader Casey Tarvin with 360. Second is Logan Witt with 261. Jordan Prosniak with 217. And then Chanel Turner with 159. In the back, they are led by J.C. Jones with 534 digs. Casey Tarvin 418. And then Jordan Prosniak with 344. So a lot of dual threats on this Queens team. You've got, looks like Prosniak is a double-double machine. 10 kills, 10 digs a match average, as well as Chanel Turner. So those two, getting them going early for Queens is going to be a key in my mind. And then for Augusta, it's got to be getting Savannah Gonzalez and Mackenzie Beck going. That's the keys we talked about last time. Georgia College effectively shut them down and went on to win the match. So Augusta needs to give those two ladies, in my opinion, opportunities early to get Augusta on the board.
Oh, absolutely. Savannah Gonzalez and Mackenzie Beck were crucial in the Francis Marion victory on Friday, and then they brought it home against UNC Pembroke. UNC Pembroke was overall more of a team effort in the back and in the front court, but definitely getting Mackenzie Beck and Savannah Gonzalez going on the right track, not only for this game, but the final 2 games of the regular season ahead, because back-to-back you have USC Aiken, who the Jags conquered here at Christenberry, but then the final game of the season, the Jags are looking for a little bit of retribution in the sense that they lost to Lander. So the final game of that season, final game of the season rather, is going to be critical. But do not, by any circumstances, overlook this game. This will be a phenomenal test for them to match up against those two later games. But you want to concentrate on tonight's matchup today and where you can mix and match up to have the advantage overall in, like we said, both teams are evenly matched, so this should be a great volleyball matchup.
Yeah, you play your cards right. Well, actually, yeah, you got a match against USC Aiken. You win that one,
right,
and then you beat Lander. If Aiken slips up against Georgia College, Augusta's going to be 1 seed. They're going to win the Peach Belt regular season.
Right.
That would be a tremendous accomplishment for this team that's been middle of the pack the first couple times that I've been here. So great step forward for Coach Quarles and company. Looking at these rosters, aside from stats, Queens has 1 senior. It's Taylor Henry. Augusta has the experience factor. You look at these freshmen, I count 4 or 5 freshmen on this team, and looks like about 7 or 8 sophomores. This team is very young. I think you give the experience to Augusta.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can. It's a reflection of where Augusta was last year, because last year, remember, James, we had no seniors on our roster. Last year we had a core of juniors and sophomores and a couple of freshmen coming in. So this is a mirror image of what Augusta faced last year. And this Queens team will get better not only as this year moseys along, but think about 3 or 4 years in the future and where they're headed. They're going to be a rigorous and tough contest to deal with in the region within the next 4 or 5 years.
Taking a look at this Peach Belt standings, USC Aiken 9-1, Augusta 7-3, Lander and Georgia College both 6-4, Flagler's 4-6, Francis Marion 4-7, UNC Pembroke 0-11. Georgia College, of course, swept Augusta. Lander's already beaten Augusta, so those are tiebreakers there. But as I mentioned before, if Augusta beats USC Aiken, they beat Lander, and then Aiken slips up against Georgia College, then Augusta could find themselves as the number 1 seed heading into the conference tournament.
Absolutely.
And putting themselves in a position to be a high seed in the NCAA tournament and be able to go into a deep run there.
Right, and you couldn't have asked for a better opponent to get you ready for Aiken and Lander, because as far as speed goes and formation, rotations, and defense and offense combined, Queens is one of the closest relatives to what you'll see in a USC Aiken squad. They're that dynamic, so this is a good test for Augusta, you said, going into the final 2.
Some keys that I look for early is there were strings of runs the last time we saw Georgia College and Augusta.
Right.
Augusta would get on runs, but then they would kind of falter later in sets. And it's talked about all the time, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Right.
So both teams, I think, you want to keep it close to the 15-point mark.
Right.
And then whoever takes the advantage of the runs then, I think is going to be the winner and loser in this match.
Yeah, because there was a huge battle for not only runs in that Francis Marion game, but there was also back and forth, like a heavyweight UFC bout going back and, or like a fight going back and forth.
Right.
So it's interesting how that game played out, because you got the best of both worlds with the runs that Augusta's capable of, but then a serious test coming back and going blow to blow. And something like that will not only draw you together, but as you mentioned, get your more than capable leaders ready to play, like Beck, like Savannah Gonzalez. Draw more intensity from them, bring it home, and play your style of game and get you more focused for not only that game but what's ahead.
One final key that I want to look at as we watch these first couple sets, it's going to be which team is put out of system. What that means is the spike comes over, the digs put the setter in a bad position to set the ball, or the setter doesn't have multiple options. It's only going one way, and the defense can capitalize on that. Whichever team puts the other out of system the most, I think is going to be the telltale sign early in this match.
And one more thing added to that point, not only that, but it's going to also come down to the team who absolutely creates more opportunities, but also has less mental and physical errors and mental mistakes to beat themselves. So the team who has that, and they will try to overcome that, that opens up the doorway for the opposing team, whether it be Augusta or Queens, to come knocking and seriously puncture a hole in that defense and attack like a hawk and break through on some of these runs we're talking about.
Teams are finishing their final warm-ups. Augusta down to our left, Queens down to our right. Augusta 20-5, trying to get that 21st win. Queens 12-13, trying to pick up win number 13. We'll see what all happens. About 19 minutes to go. It's an early start time here, 6 Eastern start, so make sure you make your way out to the Christian Berry Fieldhouse to support the Augusta Jaguars. About 18 minutes or so, we'll have first serve coming up from the Christian Berry Fieldhouse. Don't go anywhere, folks. It won't be long now, folks. Teams are shaking hands. Welcome you back, Christian Berry Fieldhouse. Jay Douglas, Blake Collins to provide all the play-by-play. Set number 1 is moments away. Let's set the lineups. First for Queens, sophomore number 2, Chanel Turner. Number 9, sophomore Casey Tarbin. Number 12, sophomore Logan Witt. Freshman number 14, Lindsay Elmore. Junior 16, Mallory Swartz. Number 17, Jordan Przeniak is a sophomore, and libero is a sophomore, number 18, J.C. Jones. For your Jaguars, they start with senior number 1, Mackenzie Beck. Junior number 5, Jessica Hedrick. Number 6, sophomore Chloe Allen. Sophomore number 7, Alyssa Frazier. Number 9, senior Blair Bolton. Number 15, senior Savannah Gonzalez. And libero for the Jaguars, sophomore number 14, Holland Martin. Blake, final thoughts before we get this one going.
This is going to be an extremely pivotal matchup for both squads. A heavyweight bout back and forth. We're looking at it. Both teams, like we said in the open, both teams are evenly matched. Look for the front courts to give it their heart. Look for the speed to create more plays for each individual team. It is going to be a really interesting contest on the last regular season home matchup for Christenberry in our last home broadcast this season.
We'll see if Queens gets Casey Tarbin touches early. She comes in leading the Royals in kills. See if Augusta gives Savannah Gonzalez some early touches. Queens is going to get us started. A pair of blue teams. We got Queens in the blue to our right, Augusta in the white to our left. Jordan Przeniak is set to get us going. Queens will serve from right to left as we call things.
Mm-hmm. And you've got an interesting alignment, too, with Holland Martin and Savannah Gonzalez in the backcourt, electing to go with the taller, more physical presence on the defensive end with Savannah in there to hopefully spark some offense for Augusta.
Quickly, an ace for Queens, Przeniak, sophomore from Lake in the Hills, Illinois. I've never heard of that, but sounds like an interesting place to be from. As Savannah Gonzalez gives it to Mackenzie Beck for Blair Bolton. It's blocked. Beck recovers. Holland Martin gives it to Frazier, who gets it over. Jones there to dig it out.
Frazier with a good open syrup float over, though.
Hedrick tries it and missed it. So Queens with back-to-back points.
Just a little bit of a miscue right there by Augusta, but beautifully set up by Beck, who is multi-versatile. She can transitionally set up well and go for kills and soft floatovers. That time she set up perfectly, just a little too long on the float over from Alyssa Frazier.
That is set in the middle and a kill for Logan Witt, sophomore from Mossily, Virginia.
The dynamics up front for Queens as far as transitional play from the defensive setter to the libero to the front court is absolutely flawless up front. Look for them to keep on executing plays like that to see if they can jump even further ahead.
Jones just plays it over Holland Martin to Mackenzie Beck. For Bolton, had to adjust, and I think that'll go as a block for Logan Witt. And right away, it's a key we talked about, out of system. Queens is getting Augusta out of system here in the first 4 points of set one.
And then Blair tried to shoot it over, but Beck was not expecting that ball to hit the net and come back. And then when she tried, last split-second reaction failed.
Every little point helps. A service error for the Royals gets Augusta the serve, and Natalia Gouveia will enter the game to serve for the Jags.
And it'll take 1 or 2 points here for Augusta to kind of settle back down, settle back into the weeds, into their seam of things, and play to their type of game. Right now, Queens is forcing Augusta to play Queens' style of game.
Well, there's a big block. Gonzalez and Hedrick, the tandem. The kill attempt coming from Logan Witt. They're getting her a lot of touches here early.
It's an explosion up front. The front courts are phenomenal. Now Savannah moves up into the front court to give the full advantage for the front court to Augusta. But the explosion up front from both squads is on pivotal display here. Got to take them any way you can get them. Gouveia's serve hits the net and it floats over, and 3 straight points here for the Jags trying to fight their way back in. Also, we talked about it's a game of runs right now. We're going back and forth with 4 straight points for Queens, and now we got 3 straight points for Augusta looking to tie it up right here. Gouveia will serve it way long, no touch, makes it 5-3. Substitutions for the Royals coming in is Lindsay Elmore, number 14, and then it's like they bring in number 5, Casey Snyder. I would hate to get into a wall ball battle between Gouveia and Beck on Augusta's side of things. because they have electric serves and electric kills to boot.
Holland Martin plays that one to Mackenzie Beck. Hedrick is in there for a kill, gets it over the block very nicely, makes it 5-4, and Queens will make substitutions again. So in that rotation, they took out Witt and Snyder. That's interesting. They took 2 people out, yet 1 person came back in. That's interesting.
So you got a 2-3-1 alignment, it looks like, for Queens.
Gouveia, I think, got to that one. Gonzalez for a kill attempt, and it worked off the libero, J.C. Jones. Ties the set up at 5 apiece.
That's interesting because you focus everything on the corners. You focus on the back, the middle, and the front corners, and you leave 1 person guarding the middle, but then once in that middle court, that 1 person can only cover so much ground, and Augusta exploited that right there.
Tarvin could not keep it in play, and the point will go to the Jags. They take their first lead here in the opening set. It is Augusta now with the momentum and getting Queens out of system. Proziniak plays it up. Tarvin will not get it over. It's saved, but a violation somewhere. It didn't make it over, so 4 touches called against the Royals makes it 7-5.
Now the tides are starting to turn a little bit. Now Queens is having to think a little bit too much. They're getting inside their own heads right now and creating mental and physical mistakes, which is something they do not want to do and are not accustomed to doing, and Augusta's absolutely killing it right now on the offense.
Net violation on Mackenzie Beck, could not stay out of the net on the close set. Point back to the Royals, and Mallory Swartz, your setter this evening for Queens, will serve. Lefty serve, that is. 7-6 Augusta in front here in set 1. Holland Martin plays it to Mackenzie Beck for Savannah Gonzalez. Dug out by Tarvin. Swartz sets it back to Tarvin. Dug out by Beck. And Swartz will get the kill as the overpass allowed Tarvin to get another kill.
It's beautiful when everything works in transitionally sync. You have a good setup, a good kill on the back end. Caught Augusta front-loading the court, looking for something to spike dead in the front court, executed on the back court, and the Queens secured their 7th point to tie it up.
Swartz sets it to Tarvin again, and it got in there. So Tarvin with back-to-back kills. Swartz continues the service game. It's 8-7, Queens in front.
It's going to be interesting to see right now if Augusta can stop this run momentum that both teams are on.
Blair Bolton can't save it off the pass from Gonzalez. Another point for the Royals.
It's not all too often that you catch Augusta out of the gate, out of position. Blair was caught a little bit out of position there, leaning more to the left than to the right, and it cost her, and it cost Augusta Queens' 9th point. 4
straight points. Can Blair Bolton save it? No. Holland Martin decided to push that one, caught Mackenzie Beck off guard, and the Jags could not save it. That is now 5 straight points for the Royals. They lead 10-7 here in set 1, and it's just back and forth with a strand of runs, and both teams getting each other out of system. We'll see which team can capitalize before the set is over, as a service error on Mallory Swartz gives the service back to Augusta, and they will bring in Sharik Brian Garmos to run the setter position, which will give Mackenzie Beck opportunities in this rotation to get some kills.
Absolutely. Her and Savannah, those two are the driving force in the offense.
Swartz to Tarvin off of Gouveia. Chloe Allen at the net, but Tarvin gets the better of that exchange, gives the point back to Queens. They're riding Tarvin now. Casey Tarvin, 5'9" sophomore from Leander, Texas, came into the game hitting 360. She was the kill leader leading into this match, so not surprised that she's getting some opportunities here in set 1. Misses the serve there, gives it back to Augusta at 11-9. Gouveia out, Frazier in.
That was a critical juncture in letting Augusta back into this affair here in the middle stages of this first set.
Broziniak sets to Swartz. It's over, dug out. Mackenzie Beck, Frazier kept it in. Broziniak, Swartz, back set off the top of the block. Garmos is there. Holland Martin for Mackenzie Beck. It's blocked. Allen is there though. Garmos to Gonzalez. Dug out by Jones. Swartz, Broziniak. Dug out Holland Martin. Garmos, middle. Allen It's dug out. Can it be saved? Beautifully done, but out of play. Oh, that was a heck of an effort from Queens, but they couldn't get it done.
That was gorgeous on both sides. Augusta kept it alive 2 or 3 times there, batting it back over to Queens, serving it up. Queens somehow got the dig underneath that dig that was looking to go straight down and then seized on the opportunity.
Chloe Allen says no thank you, rejects it right back, ties it up at 11. Chanel Turner, by the way, is playing the right side of Queens' offense. She had those kill attempts the previous point. Proziniak sets to Swartz. Back to Proziniak. She is blocked by Beck and Allen on the tandem, makes it 12-11.
These front courts have come to make a statement and have come to play. That's 2 or 3 times on each side of the front court that they have made statements, and they have absolutely taken a point over and just dominated.
Turner one more time is dug out by Garmos. Holland Martin will set it to Gonzalez. Jones is there for the dig. Swartz sets it to Proziniak. Gonzalez is there, though. Back to Proziniak. Holland Martin beautifully, but it was not saved by Augusta, and it ties the match back up at 12.
Yeah, Jones with a phenomenal dig there, but then on the back end, Martin, I don't think was expecting that ball to be that low. Then a little late reaction time to retrieve it, could not successfully do so, and that's why we're deadlocked at 12.
Frazier with the kill off of Tarvin. And Frazier can bring it now, and she gets hops on her kill attempts as well, so you better watch out.
Yeah, anytime you have that type of leaping ability, even if you time the jumps well, the size and the timing will overtake the defender on that particular circumstance.
Garmos to Beck. It's off the block, can't be saved. Good job by Mackenzie Beck using the block to her advantage. Makes it 14-12.
Now, on the other hand, if they're evenly matched and they do jump at the same time, the advantage goes to the defender because of the deflection coming off.
Proziniak plays it to Swartz. Back set to Turner. Off of Augusta, out of play, makes it 14-13. Holland Martin returns to the game for the Jags. Chloe Allen going out. And Chanel Turner will serve for the Royals.
And watch out, too, Jay, because Augusta likes to implement a blocking scheme up front to where it's what I like to call a brick wall, where they're so close together that you really can fit things through. They haven't gotten to that scheme just yet, but look for that to be a factor as we roll forward.
Alyssa Frazier came in with 132 kills, which is 5th on the team. She's got a pair tonight. Beck serves it. Swartz close to the net. They try the slide play. Holland Martin digs it out. Gonzalez saves it. Martin back to get it. Turner for Swartz to Proziniak off the block. Holland Martin, beautiful save. Frazier, Mackenzie Beck just has to play it over. Jones for Swartz. Back set and a kill for Logan Witt, number 12.
Just over the fingertips of Hedrick and Frazier right there in a perfectly placed kill. And Queens is only trailing by 1 in a great first set.
This is Proziniak serving. Gonzalez for Garmos to Hedrick, dug out by Jones, saved by Turner, over for Swartz. Mackenzie Beck is there. Garmos shoots it out to Frazier. Proziniak to Swartz to Tarvin. Garmos for Frazier, dug out by Tarvin. Who wants it? Swartz is there. Violation, on Augusta. Attacking the setter, I believe, is the call for Hedrick. Tough break there. It was close to the net and wasn't above the tape, so a violation on Augusta.
And there's not much else you can do outside of it rather than just let it go and allow your teammates to kind of come try to help you out.
Mackenzie Beck dug out by Proziniak. Swartz comes to get it. It's going to be Turner. Holland Martin is there. Garmos comes to get it. Back for Beck, pushes it over. Dug out by Tarvin. Swartz back to Tarvin. She is dug out by Gonzalez beautifully. Holland Martin. Frazier gets up and missed it long, no touch.
But you'll love the dig attempts on both sides. Queens has done this, so Augusta did on that point as well. They dig it out high to allow the offense and a defense to get set under them and then launch the attack. That is crucial when playing almost the same style of opponent that your team plays, and it's working beautifully for both sides.
Tarvin missed it. Well, they call a touch. One ref set in, one ref set out. The up ref has the final say, calls for a touch, and Coach Quarles will use a timeout. It's 17-15, Queens in front here in set number 1. Back for more Augusta volleyball after this. I'd like to welcome everybody back out to Christian Mary Fieldhouse. Queens on top here in set 1, 17-15. Jay Douglas, Blake Collins bringing you all the action. Casey Tarvin leading the Royals. 4 kills for her. Logan Witt with 2. Jags counter Alyssa Frazier with 2. Beck, Hedrick, Allen, and Gonzalez all with 1. Coach Quarles spending that timeout. Queens still on the serve here. It is Jordan Preziniak, sophomore from Lake in the Hills, Illinois, out of Crystal Lake South High School, serving for the Royals. In the blue to our right, Augusta in the white to our left. Garmos sets it for Frazier. It's blocked, but out of play. Point to Augusta. Good job out of the timeout to pick up a point.
Great standing scheme there by Queens, but the deflection went out of bounds, so it's Augusta's point. But phenomenal blocking ability by Queens made that tough.
Mateo Gouveia will serve for the Jags, trailing by 1. Gouveia got the Jags on a run back earlier here in this set. Let's see if she can do it again. The lefty lines it up. Jones is there. Tarvin has to play it back. Preziniak is there. Mackenzie Beck. Garmos for Hedrick had to adjust. Jones is there. Swartz for Tarvin. Dug out by Gouveia nicely. Garmos over on 2. It caught the top of the net. Queens plays it to Tarvin. Dug out by Holland Martin. Garmos pushes it out to Gonzalez. It's dug out. Jones will save it, and Tarvin will get there. Beck for Garmos, for Hedrick, and it worked on the cross-court slide play. Augusta ties the set up at 17 apiece. Great job by both teams keeping the point alive, and Augusta finally capitalized.
Absolutely. The libero for Queens did a phenomenal dig, but then give the assist a little bit to the net, and then off the top of the fingers for Queens for Augusta to deadlock this at 17.
Jones for Swartz to Witt, who is blocked. Not sure if that was hit twice. Yeah, it's going to be hit twice. Well, no, they called something else. Maybe Hedrick was in the net or something. Some violation against Augusta puts them behind 18-17.
And it's still a little bit of miscommunication too, because you saw Beck go high, and I believe Beck go low, and Hedrick go high. A little bit of miscommunication there that if the play went on further, then Queens could kind of capitalize on it. We'll see what they do here.
Casey Snyder serving. Holland Martin for Garmos, pushes to Gonzalez, and it got in down the line.
Cannot tell you how much precision that takes to hit a ball that ferocious with that much velocity, like a fireball, and aim it right dead center on the line with precision and accuracy to it. That is a phenomenal play there by Savannah Gonzalez.
Holland Martin, Tarvin for Swartz. Back to Tarvin, pushes it over, but Mackenzie Beck will eat that up. Garmos, Gonzalez again, pushes it over. Tarvin is there, though. It's going to be saved by Swartz, and it'll be played over, dug out Holland Martin. Garmos, middle. Allen is blocked, but out of play. And Augusta gets the point. 19-18. Back and forth we go at the critical juncture of set 1.
That time, the set by Garmos made that play possible because she didn't set it high. She set it just at the right height for them to attack and get enough of a deflection off for it to go out of bounds.
Mackenzie Beck digs that attempt out from Tarvin. Gonzalez, I think, yeah, she hit it out. She hit the antenna. Good eyes by the referees to call it out. Tough break for the Jags. Squares it all at 19. And Mallory Swartz will serve for the Royals.
Now, if you're the Royals right now, you want to try to be able to maneuver the Jags defense into, as you say, out of system so that you can capitalize and string a couple of points together, because right now we're in a dead heat.
Little indecision from Holland Martin as Tarvin will get another kill for herself. Makes it 20-19. Augusta with one timeout. Queens with both of theirs. Serving Mallory Swartz junior setter from Mooresville, North Carolina. Here's the serve. Oh, that's a tough break for Augusta. I thought it was going to be an error, but it just barely went over. Garmos couldn't save it. Makes it 21-19.
Man, oh man. Talk about just out of the reach of Garmos. She did everything she could, even though it was a little bit of a late reaction. You cannot account for that, so a little bit of a delayed reaction. Still, great decision there by Garmos to try to dig that out.
Chloe Allen says, I got you, I'll pick you up. Gets the kill right back for Augusta, makes it 21-20, and gives Garmos a chance to serve to give Augusta the lead. But first, they got to tie it up.
She, like Govea, is lethal on the serve department.
Tarvin, good dig by Holland Martin. Gonzalez, dug out by Prezeniak. Swartz, back to Tarvin. Dug out by Govea beautifully. Garmos, they go to Gonzalez. Dug out by Jones. Swartz will set it to Tarvin once more. Govea digs it out. Garmos, middle. Allen had to adjust, but it worked.
Great adjustment up top. Trying to go for an over back floater, turned it a little bit sideways and then just dunked it in the front court. But I'm also been impressed, Jay, with this. On these digs, the amount of body control both teams are exhibiting is tremendous on these high impact digs. It is really setting the table for awesome transitions into attacks.
Well, I was going to ask if Queens should go somewhere else. No, they ride their ace. Casey Tarvin with another kill makes it 22-21.
Absolutely. You ride her and then infuse a little bit of other assisting in there as well and some more kills from other folks. But you want to trigger your ace until they adjust to her, and then that's when you adjust back.
Well, they went away from her that time. Chanel Turner picks up the kill. I think Coach Coyle's going to use her last time out. Yes, indeed. Queens leads by 2. And before we go to break, I figured out what Queens does on that rotation that kind of surprised me a little bit. What they do is Logan Witt comes in for Casey Snyder, and then libero J.C. Jones comes in for Witt.
Right.
So a lot going on there to make one substitution, but I figured it out. I watched it closely, and I figured it out.
Absolutely, and you get two fresh set of legs in for the price of one there, and that works beautifully in terms of the speed, trying to get in, trying to dig a lot of these attacks out. And when Queens can turn those into points, they're dynamic off of that particular rotation.
Something I noticed on that last point is Mackenzie Beck moved to the left, Augusta's left, and they put Savannah on the right. We'll see if they stay with that out of the timeout or if Beck and Gonzalez go back to their normal sides.
Yeah, it gives Queens a little bit of a different look, and sometimes it might confuse a defense because you're thinking Savannah always comes from the right. Well, if you see Beck there, you're trying to look for Savannah. Then if you see Savannah over here, the reaction time to that, if you don't adjust on it prior to the serve, the reaction time may be late, and then therefore Mackenzie can attack. And then if you go to her, then you've got Savannah on the back end of it, almost like a king and queen on two opposite sides of the chessboard, converging to attack as one.
So Augusta out of timeouts. Queens was still the allotment. Casey Tarvin is serving at 23-21. Jay Douglas, Blake Collins as we reset things. Garmos for Allen, missed it out of play. And the set point will go to Queens, makes it 24-21. Casey Tarvin has dominated this first set for her team. Augusta will have to make some adjustments heading into set 2 if they cannot come back. Set point for the Royals. Govea, Garmos to Gonzalez, dug out by Tarvin. Swartz, back to Tarvin. Garmos, little miscommunication, but Augusta's able to save it. They got lucky. Swartz for Turner, blocked, saved by Chloe Allen. Garmos for Mackenzie Beck. It's off the block, out of play. Point to the Jaguars. Boy, the Jags got a big break with the miscommunication between Govea and Holland Martin.
Yeah, the anchor to that and the saving grace for the Jags was Chloe Allen on that particular play. She started over here on the left, dug it out, then retraced her steps back over to the left to dig that over.
Alyssa Frazier takes advantage of the overpass, makes it 24-23. Augusta has fought off 2 set points, and now Queens will spin a timeout. They have one left, so a good job here by head coach Hannah Lone to settle her team down. Still with set point. We'll see if Queens can close it out in just a couple of minutes. Welcome back to the Christian Berry Fieldhouse. J. Douglas Blake Collins, set one, wrapping itself up. 24-23, Queens in front. Casey Tarvin leading the Royals, 6 kills. Logan Witt with 3, Chanel Turner with 2. Augusta, Chloe Allen, Alyssa Frazier, 4 kills apiece. Beck, Hedrick, and Gonzalez all with 2. So Augusta is using Chloe Allen and Alyssa Frazier to try and get them to win set number 1. 2 kind of unknowns because we're used to seeing Gonzalez and Beck. Proziniak is blocked. It's saved, but out of play. And Augusta comes all the way back, down 24-21 to tie the set up at 24 apiece. Great job by the Jags.
With that being said, Queens is now under immense pressure to try to put this away for allowing Augusta to come back. Augusta's freeloading right now, and they've got nothing to lose at this point.
Garmos tried to kill, but Tarvin dug it out. Tarvin for a kill attempt. Garmos, Holland Martin, Mackenzie Beck, pushes it over, but dug out by Turner. Swartz for Proziniak off the top of the block. Holland Martin gets in position to dig it out. Alyssa Frazier. It is out of play off of Tarvin, and a set point for the Jags. And Queens will spend the last timeout. It's 4 straight points for the Jags, and they now have a set point. What a job by Augusta to come back off the mat, and are now within a point of coming and stealing this first set away.
You look at the fine mechanics of what Augusta's doing, they're flawless in transitions. They are hitting the kills at the point, even if they try to dig it out. They're hitting it to a point to where even the digs are deflecting where they don't want it to, and they cannot recuperate back as Queens. And that is propelling Augusta out to, if they score one more point, James, they wrap up the first set.
I mean, this is going to be huge momentum for Augusta because you got to think that Queens, I mean, they're going to bounce back, you figure.
Right.
But it's going to be hard. I mean, you had the set pretty much in the bag, and Augusta said, no, we're better. We're going to show what we're made of, and they've done that. Savannah Gonzalez doing a good job serving. She has set point right here. We'll see if Queens continues to ride Tarvin or if they go somewhere else. Swartz goes to Turner and gets the kill. So they go to Chanel Turner instead to tie the set back up at 25 apiece.
Don't think Holland ever saw that coming until it got 2/3 of the way to her, and then the reaction time, and then it was too late.
J.C. Jones, the libero for Queens. To the other libero, Holland Martin. Garmos had to adjust. Chloe Allen with the kill makes it 26-25. Another set point for the Jags. And Allen now could close it out on her serve as Hedrick enters for Holland Martin.
As great as Tarvin has been for the Queens, that time she got caught on the back of her heels there and not on the balls of her feet in attack position, and then she got burned because the kill was a little bit in front of her and she could not respond.
Frazier plays it over. Tarvin digs it out. It's close to the net. Garmos tried to dig it out, couldn't. I believe Logan Witt will get credit for that kill in the middle.
We had a matchup here earlier, James, where Augusta and their opponent locked horns for 30 points. You think we'll get to that far up?
Only one way to find out. Only one way to find out, good sir. Garmos for Mackenzie Beck is blocked but out of play.
And this is only the first set. Imagine what the second set and the third set will entail. And if we get to a 4th and 5th, all bets are off.
Well, I have a question in just a couple of minutes. We'll see this point go by first. Witt, it's off of Gonzalez, point back to Queens. We moved the start time up so Queens could go back home.
Right.
If it runs long, then what? Because, I mean, we moved it up to accommodate them.
Right.
If we play 5 sets, what are we going to do?
Yeah, because usually you look at a 7 o'clock start, you're looking at maybe 2:30. We're done by 9 or 9:30. If this goes long points and it goes to a 5th set, we may not get done until 9:30, 10 o'clock. So then it becomes, well, do you stay here or do you travel back late at night? That's something that will be talked about, and then they will take action on that as the game progresses.
Great set of points there. Savannah Gonzalez finally gets the kill, gives another set point to Augusta. 28-27, Natalia Gouveia re-enters to try and serve it out. Gouveia, the lefty, lines up on the right side of the offense. Here's the serve. Tarvin for Swartz, back to Tarvin, and in between Gouveia and Holland Martin was not in a position to back her up. And the point goes to Queens. Back and forth we go. Lindsay Elmore and Casey Snyder enter the game for the Royals. See if Queens can get the advantage. Holland Martin, Garmos for Gonzalez off of Turner. Swartz to Tarvin. Dug out by Holland Martin. Garmos for Gonzalez. Dug out by Turner again. Mackenzie Beck. Garmos for Hedrick. She is blocked. Holland Martin cannot save it. Well, Blake, the winner will have 30 points.
Yeah,
we know that much.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, Queens is a point away from doing that. We'll see if Augusta can tie it back up at 29.
When Augusta's focused, they're at their best, and they're going to have to bring that and more here in this point. But to further the question that you had, Queens does not have a game until November the 2nd on Friday. So they have a little bit of time here. If they want to spend the night here, they can. Or if they want to travel back, they can do that as well, with classes being tomorrow as well. So you never know what they'll do, but at least they don't have another volleyball game on the road or a volleyball game at home to travel to put them in a rush. They can think about it and decide what they want to do from there.
Gonzalez and Hedrick got the block to keep Augusta alive. Holland Martin is serving. Tarvin for Swartz. Back to Tarvin, and she got it in. It was touched anyway, so it would have been Queens' point regardless. Makes it 30-29.
These two teams will never let up off the gas pedal. It's like when one team punches, the other one responds right back with a right cross. One comes back with a right cross, the other one comes right back with an uppercut.
Swartz for Martin. Garmos to Gonzalez off of Proziniak. J.C. Jones. Tarvin, blocked by Allen solo. Great job by her. Swartz for Turner off of Garmos. Augusta keeps it alive. That might have been going out, but Queens played it. Turner is blocked and in play. Savannah Gonzalez and Chloe Allen.
Garmos is the MVP on that play.
Right.
How in the world she got that dig out when it was clearly on her opposite side and then directed it back over into the far side where Savannah and Chloe Allen were there to assist her. That was beyond believable.
That's out, no touch. Tarvin with the attempt, 31-30. Augusta was set point again. And Garmos, after that play to keep Augusta in this set, now can serve and give Augusta the set win.
Folks, if this is not enough of action here in the first set to keep you tuned in, I don't know what is. This is an impeccable volleyball game we're witnessing here, Jay.
Holland Martin, Garmos, Mackenzie Beck. It is in! Augusta takes set one. They fall down 24-21, and they outscore 11-6 to pull off the set one victory. Augusta leads at 1-0. Teams switch sides for set number two.
What you just saw is a basketball run in volleyball. Not only that, but that was all heart from Augusta because Queens had the lead 4 times in that exchange, and then they came back firing because not only do you have to score 1, but then you have to score 2 to get in the lead, and then 3 after you come back to tie it to take the set. So Augusta has displayed a tremendous heart, as has Queens, but just technically and formation-wise, Augusta had the better end of the stick once we got into the 30 range because they wanted it more. It got them more focused, more chomping at the bit, and when they're focused, they're not concentrating on being too perfect, and that's what helped Augusta there because they covered more ground. They were able to seize on opportunities that Queens left open, and Augusta wraps up the first set with a victory.
We'll see if Augusta can carry that momentum into set 2 or if Queens can rebound. Set 2 is about 2.5 minutes away, and we'll have the coverage right here from the Christian Berry Fieldhouse. Don't go anywhere, folks. Welcome back to the Christian Berry Fieldhouse, folks. Jay Douglas, Blake Collins here with you. Augusta up 1-0. They won set one, 32-30. They were down 24-21. They go on an 11-6 run to win the set. Set number one stats. Casey Tarvin, 8 kills. Logan Witt with 5. Chanel Turner with 3 for the Jags. Chloe Allen, Alyssa Frazier with 5. Mackenzie Beck, 4. Savannah Gonzalez, 3. And Jessica Hedrick, 2. As a team, hitting percentage, .190 for the Jags, .125 for Queens. 19 kills for Augusta, 17 for Queens. Diggs, 37 for the Jags, 33 for Queens. Close on stats, close set number one. The stats reflect that, Blake.
Absolutely. And, folks, if you like popcorn, you might want to go pop up some popcorn because you're in for a real treat with the second set, or Hot Pockets if that's your game as well, because the first set was absolutely phenomenal with blistering numbers on both sides. The front courts were electric, and Jay, this only paves way for what we're about to witness here in set number 2.
Augusta will start with Blair Bolton in the lineup. We didn't see her a lot after the first rotation, so she's back in to start set number 2. We'll see if they give her some touches. The teams have switched sides. Augusta to our right in the white, Queens in the left in the blue. Both teams are blue and white teams, so we appreciate the color differences. And, you know, the libero for Queens is wearing white. Augusta libero wearing blue. I mean, it's just these teams could not be any more similar. Why are they not in the Peach Belt together? I mean, they're so similar. That, of course, has to do with region, so we won't speculate that. First attempt is blocked by Hedrick and Frazier. Point to Augusta. They lead set 2, 1-0.
But even to your point, you see what's on the court right now. These two teams are so evenly matched. Going to 32 points captured the first set. It only goes to 25. That is 7 extra points you saw as in 3 points as we saw in the World Series with 2 complete games in 18 innings. So these two teams are going to go toe-to-toe throughout this matchup, and it is a beautiful sight to see if you're a heavyweight volleyball fan that loves back and forth like we just saw.
Mackenzie Beck off a mishit from Queens. Swartz for Tarvin. Holland Martin is there. Gonzalez for Frazier just plays it over. Set by Turner. Slide play to Witt. She's blocked. Blair Bolton is there. Mackenzie Beck for Frazier. Dug out by Jones. Swartz on 2. Beck is there. Holland Martin gets it. Blair Bolton dug out by Jones. It'll stay in play. Holland Martin for Frazier. Dug out by Prezeniak. Swartz, middle for Witt. Dug out by Beck. Gonzalez for Frazier. Pushes it over. Dug out Tarvin. Swartz back to Tarvin. Beck. Holland Martin for Blair Bolton. Pushes it over. Dug out by Swartz. Prezeniak. Tarvin again. Blocked back. Prezeniak digs. Tarvin for the kill attempt. Blocked again. Witt at the net. Tarvin. Holland Martin. Mackenzie Beck. Jessica Hedrick off of Prezeniak. And Augusta finally gets the point, making it 3-0.
It is not often that I am out of words, right? It is not often that I am out of words. But
we broke you.
Exactly. The fact that we saw a particular possession last almost a minute and 30 seconds off of that is phenomenal considering what we saw in the first set. These two teams are laying it all out on the court here tonight.
Jessica Hedrick with a beautiful dig. Another block by the Jag front court. Holland Martin. Mackenzie Beck. Blair Bolton. She's blocked by Witt and Tarvin. Boy, Jessica Hedrick, that set. Oh, my goodness. 3-1, Queens gets on the board. Logan Witt serving for the Royals. Savannah Gonzalez, Mackenzie Beck for Alyssa Frazier. Off the block, Prezeniak. Swartz for Elmore. Dug out by Gonzalez. Holland Martin for Frazier. Witt, Prezeniak saves. Tarvin plays it over. Martin, Beck saves. For Frazier, just plays it over. Prezeniak. Swartz for Tarvin. Dug out Gonzalez. Mackenzie Beck. Alyssa Frazier. She gets the kill. 4-1 Augusta.
Just a little soft on the kill made all the difference. She didn't go full force with it. In fact, she got it a little bit off the top of her fingers, did Frazier, but it was just enough to settle right in front of the defensive setter for Queens. And Augusta amps up a three-point advantage.
Zaya Gouveia serving 4-1 Augusta in front. Well, Queens got off to the hot start in set 1. Augusta off to the hot start in set 2. Gonzalez couldn't kill it. Elmore does not, and there's no touch. It hit out of play, makes it 5-1.
It's a good read, but if that would have been in bounds, they would have had no shot at trying to respond because that was hit perfectly low and a low line drop to where nobody could counter it if it was in play.
Swartz for Tarvin. She is blocked, but Augusta couldn't put it back over. It lands on their side, and Queens will get a point.
Don't think that's where they were trying to attack it. They were trying to conquer the middle, but then deflection-wise, they saw an opening, and then the deflection hit in that opening. So Queens, on a second effort there, gets their second point.
We see the second setter, Alexandria Becerra for the Royals. Beck, that hit the antenna. Hedrick couldn't get to it, makes it 5-3. So Becerra entering the game for the first time, 5'7" redshirt freshman from San Antonio, Texas, and Brennan High School. Becerra enters the game with 353 assists, second on the team. We'll see if she does a good job setting the ball. She won't have opportunity this time as Holland Martin off of Gouveia could not save it, makes it 5-4. They don't need her setting. They need her serving.
Exactly. She's in terms of what Augusta has, she is not only the Gouveia but also the Brian Garmos of what Augusta has. She is lethal on the sets, and Augusta's having a hard time trying to counter what she's serving up.
She digs that one out. J.C. Jones for Turner. Dug out by Beck. It's over and out. So Beck couldn't save it. Makes it 5-5. Becerra stringing together 3 straight points.
But that just shows you how strong Beck is, though. From her knees, having that much lift and that much power to dig that out, and it goes over and out of play in the middle of their side of the court from where she was in the middle on the Augusta side of the court. What tremendous power, even though she could not control it to where she wanted it to go.
Beck had a word with the up official about something. She's somewhat satisfied, gets back to play. Gonzalez for Jones. Becerra, her first set. Tarvin off of Hedrick, blocked back. Becerra back set to Turner. Dug out by Gouveia. Mackenzie Beck to Blair Bolton. Blocked back. Beck tried to dig it out. That is Tarvin solo. Makes it 6-5.
On that particular play, just a strong deflection off to the side caused that because Bolton was in attack mode. She had to react in defense mode and couldn't dig it out to help out Augusta on that particular play.
Good play by Hedrick. They call the slide. She capitalizes, makes it 6-6 as Chloe Allen enters the game for Hedrick, and Holland Martin will serve for the Jags.
And as you saw on that last possession, some of these adjustments that these players are making are last split second. And when you try to make it that quickly, it could turn into gold, but then it can also turn into coal as well.
Mackenzie Beck for Blair Bolton. She is off the top of the block. Becerra sets for Elmore, and that'll be a kill for Lindsay Elmore, a freshman from China Grove, North Carolina. Makes it 7-6, Queens in front.
Yeah, this front court for Queens is battling this stout Augusta front court, point for point.
So Casey Tarvin serving for the Royals. Holland Martin for Mackenzie Beck for Chloe Allen off of Jones. Prezeniak, I thought that might have been a violation, but we play on. Turner, Holland Martin digs it out. Mackenzie Beck, it was an overpass. Lindsay Elmore gets the kill, makes it 8-6.
Mackenzie Beck was not gonna let that ball hit their side of the court and denied Queens a point right there. Finished it emphatically, but then on the other side of it, Queens capitalized on a little bit of miscommunication there, and now they're ahead by 2.
Makes it 8-7. Up to that point, Queens was on a 7-1 run. It was 5-1 Augusta. Now it's 8-7 Queens. Brian Garmos enters the game for Blair Bolton. Garmos will serve. And this is what we saw in set 1. Blair Bolton's in for the first couple rotations. Then they take her out. We'll see how Augusta utilizes that in set number 2. It worked pretty well in set 1, if I do say so myself. Becerra sets to Elmore, dug out by Holland Martin, but some violation. Augusta was in the net. I guess Savannah Gonzalez called for it, or maybe Chloe Allen. 1 and 5 can mean two things. It can either mean 6 or 15.
Yeah.
So Allen or Gonzalez was guilty.
Yep.
J.C. Jones for Gouveia. Garmos, Allen dug out by Becerra. Jones is there. Tarvin from the back. Gouveia is there. Garmos for Allen. Dug out by Tarvin again. Becerra for Turner. Dug out by Holland Martin. Garmos outside Gonzalez. She's blocked. Garmos digs it out. Gouveia calls for it. Sets to Gonzalez. Becerra for Jones for Przeniak. Holland Martin can't get to it, and it's a point for the Royals. Makes it 10-7.
Good rotation and good transitional play by Queens to set up that attack, and then Martin did all she could. Dove on her knees to try to get that just off her arm and could not recuperate fast enough.
Garmos for Chloe Allen cannot be saved by Tarvin. Gives the kill to the Jags, makes it 10-8. Natalia Gouveia going out and Alyssa Frazier coming in.
But what both these teams are going on significant runs, James, but these runs are coming at a point to where the game is still manageable for both teams at the end of these runs. Like that 7-1 run you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Queens was only up by 3 points.
Right.
Augusta, in that first set, they went on a run. They were only up by 2 points, I think, at the tip of that run.
Right.
So these are manageable and are absolutely no time whatsoever to give up. You've got to come ready, come prepared, because you know, as well as Queens is playing and as well as Augusta's playing, you know you can come back at any given second. So full throttle, pedal to the metal, and play with your heart out, and that's what we're seeing out there.
So a pair of violations for Queens. First they got a double touch, then they got a 4-touch call because it didn't go over. Makes it 11-10, Augusta in front. Becerra to Przeniak and missed it wide. It looks like Becerra will come out. They'll bring Mallory Swartz back in. Makes it 12-10, Augusta in front.
Yeah, just a touch off the side of her hand. It didn't have to be much, but just enough to spin that ball a little bit counterclockwise to where she wanted it to go, and that's what helped place that ball out of bounds for Augusta.
Holland Martin digs that attempt out. Allen is blocked, and it won't be saved. Point for Queens, makes it 12-11. In the middle is Logan Witt getting a block number 1 and then a kill number 2. It looks like Chanel Turner will serve for the Royals. Makes it 12-11. Augusta in front here in set 2. They lead the match 1-0. Gonzalez couldn't judge it and played it out of play. Makes it 12 apiece. Ace for the Royals.
Good scouting on there to see that Savannah was a little bit out of position there, and then she could not regain her center of base to try to play that and dig that out. So good call there by Queens.
Gonzalez for Garmos for Frazier. Dug out by Jones. Coming to get it is Swartz. Przeniak. Alyssa Frazier. Gonzalez and Garmos converge, but it's saved by Frazier. Swartz for Przeniak. Blocked, but out of play. Point for Queens.
I think Chloe Allen thought it was going to get to the side. It went to the back, and then back and Allen could not try to get the rebound dig out of that. Just a carom effect off of there cost Augusta their 13th point, and Queens attributes their 13th point to that play.
Chloe Allen for Garmos for Mackenzie Beck. Jones cannot save it, makes it 13 apiece. Back and forth we go again. Jessica Hedger enters the game for Holland Martin, and Chloe Allen will serve for the Jags. Przeniak for Tarvin. Przeniak again. Chloe Allen for Garmos. Outside Frazier. Dug out by Jones. And that's a violation on Swartz. Double touch on her. 14-13. Augusta takes the lead.
Key break there to save some legs for Augusta, because that had the anticipation of going for a very long point there. So a break for Augusta to save some legs and get back in possession and recalibrate your defense and offense to get back in attack mode.
Set up for Witt, dug out by Garmos. Chloe Allen sets up for Mackenzie Beck. She is blocked, but it landed on the Queens side. Point to the Jags, makes it 15-13.
When you have that close a block to kill ratio, the least amount of downward impact coming off of the arm, it's going to fall flat on your side of the court, and that's what cost Queens their Augusta's 15th point.
Frazier dug out by Przeniak, but out of play, makes it 16-13. We'll see if Queens wants to use a timeout. They will. So Coach Hannah Long will use a timeout, makes it 16-13, Augusta in front, trying to take a 2-0 lead. Queens will look to fight back out after this timeout. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome everybody back out to the Christian Berry Fieldhouse here in Augusta. Augusta leading set 2, 16-13. J. Douglas Blake Collins here bringing you the play-by-play. Chloe Allen serving for the Jags, 16-13. Queens spinning that timeout. Here's a serve from Chloe Allen. Tarvin for Swartz to Przeniak, but a violation first. Double touch on the setter Swartz.
Yeah, out from the get-go, Tarvin's dig was a little bit off, and the spin on the ball might have caused the double touch there, and Augusta gets a huge break, and now they spread their lead out by 4, but then quickly Queens responds. Yeah,
Chloe Allen with a service error there. She exits for Holland Martin. Przeniak will serve for the Royals, trying to get her team back into it. Queens with a timeout left, Augusta with both. Garmos for Mackenzie Beck, off of Jones beautifully. Przeniak to Tarvin. And no Augusta player was there. Kill for Tarvin makes it 17-15.
You can cover the maximum amount of court that you possibly can, but you cannot cover every crevice of the court. There's bound to be one spot open at all times on the court, and Queens just found that particular spot.
Well, the Jags respond. I believe Hedrick will get the kill there, makes it 18-15, and now we're going to see Victoria Wade come in for the Jags, a freshman from Greenville, South Carolina. She enters for Brian Garmos, so Mackenzie Beck will run the setter position. Przeniak for Swartz for Tarvin, dug out by Holland Martin. Beck sets it for Frazier, dug out by Przeniak. Swartz is there. Tarvin blocked. Tarvin recovers. Swartz for Witt. Martin, Beck for Hedrick, and it'll be a kill for Jessica Hedrick. Makes it 19-15. The lead balloons to 4.
Yeah, just a soft float over that went beyond the reach of two particular Queens defenders, and now Augusta's well in the lead by 4.
Service error from Mackenzie Beck makes it 19-16. You don't want to say comfortably with these two teams, but I definitely understand where you're coming from.
Not at all. I mean, if anything we learned from the first set, that at any given moment, a team can get on a surge and come back at any given point in the match. So this is going to be a critical point for Augusta to not let Queens come back, and then a dire point for Queens to get back into this contest.
That is saved by Turner, but out of play. Point for Augusta makes it 20-16. Natalia Gouveia comes in for the Jags, and Alyssa Frazier going out.
Now the thing for Queens here is you don't want to think along the lines, oh, I've got to play perfect to catch back up, because then you open yourself up for more holes in your defense and more mental and physical errors that will cost you dearly in this type of matchup. So just concentrate on playing your game and try to force Augusta to play your brand of volleyball like you did in the first set.
Mackenzie Beck, I think, took that one off the head. Let's hope she's okay. 20-17, Queens will take it. Alexandria Becerra will come in for Mallory Swartz, and Becerra will serve. She got them into a run earlier in this set. We'll see if she can do it again. 20-17, Augusta in front. Govea, Beck for Wade off the block, dug out. Miscommunication between Queens, Becerra, and J.C. Jones gives the point to Augusta, and they catch a break, do the Jags.
I will say this. Becerra sees something in the Becerra-Govea matchup. She has attacked Govea 3 particular times now when she's been back to serve, and each individual time, Queens has come up on the victorious side.
Tarvin off of Mackenzie Beck and out of play makes it 21-18. So Augusta lead is down to 3, and Casey Tarvin will serve for the Royals at 21-18. See if Queens rather can get on a run and make the set closer. Do they attack Govea again? No. Holland Martin, Mackenzie Beck, Wade had to adjust his block. Beck, Tarvin, Becerra for Proziniak gets the kill again. Augusta vacated their right side, and Proziniak took advantage.
And you want to talk about crucial minutes. Victoria Wade is earning those minutes here today, and she has been this whole entire season. She's come up huge and crucial and critical in games that you've been a part of, James, in games that have helped the Jags to penetrate and take the lead and conquer that matchup.
Wade will now exit, and Sharik Bryan Garmos will serve for the Jags. 22-19 off the service error. We'll see if Augusta can cruise their way into winning set number 2 and go up 2-0. Tarvin for Swartz, who's back in. Turner is off the block, but out of play, point to the Royals. And Lindsay Elmore exits. Logan Witt coming in for Queens. 22-20, Augusta in front. J.C. Jones is serving for Queens. Gouveia, Garmos for Beck, off the block. Tarvin is there, though. Swartz plays it to Turner. Garmos digs for Augusta. Gouveia for Beck. She gets the kill. Mackenzie Beck with the kill makes it 23-20, and Alyssa Frazier will come in, and Gouveia will go out.
If you ever wanted to try to get by 2 consecutive blocks that are like a brick wall, Beck is the lady to go to. She pierced that block like a fireball and then sizzled the point home on the back end on the backcourt.
Violation on Queens will give the set point for Augusta. Savannah Gonzalez is serving for the Jags, trying to put them up 2-0. Tarvin, Swartz for Proziniak. She is blocked. Tarvin digs it out, though. In the middle for Witt, dug out by Holland Martin. Mackenzie Beck pushes it over, and the kill gives Augusta the 2-0 lead. They win set 2, 25-20.
Great final point there with the libero just inches away from saving the set point out for Queens, but now down 2-0. You don't want to over anticipate, and you don't want to get out of playing your game, but it's becoming now to a point to where every point that Queens goes in for this third set is magnified even further because you're down to your last 25 points.
We'll see what happens in set 3, about 2.5 minutes away. We'll see if Augusta finishes it off with a sweep or if Queens can rally. Plenty more to come. Don't go anywhere, folks. Back in a moment. Welcome back to the Christian Baird Fieldhouse, folks. Jay Douglas, Blake Collins here with you. Augusta up 2-0. They win the second set more conventional, 25-20. No overtime, so to speak, there. Stats leading up to this third set: Casey Tarvin, 12 kills now. Chanel Turner, 6. Logan Witt, 5. And Jordan Proziniak, 4. For the Jags, Mackenzie Beck, 8. Hedrick and Alyssa Frazier with 7. Chloe Allen, 6. And Savannah Gonzalez with 3. Team comparison: kills 32-29 in favor of Augusta. Assists 31-26 in favor of Augusta. Digs 61-56 in favor of Augusta. Hitting percentage 206 for the Jags. .124 for Queens. Augusta well ahead now in those stats, and the match shows that because they dominated set 2 from the get-go, Blake.
Absolutely. And any type of separation that you can get in the stats department is huge because Queens is a well-oiled team in a sense that you give them an inch, they will take that mile and they will come back. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play against this dynamic defense in transition into offense against the Jags. But do they go with quickness? Do they go with power up front? They mixed a little bit of that together in the first set to make it a game, and they were in the lead for the majority of that first set. So let's see if they go back to some semblance of that, or if they completely change up strategies and go with this strategy that we're not thinking they might. And the thing is, for Augusta, knowing that, yes, keep the pressure on, but also dot your T's. Cross your T's and dot your I's.
There you go.
Exactly. Excuse me. A little bit of football reference got mixed up there, but do that so that way you make sure all your bases are covered en route to hopefully a victory here if you're Augusta.
That's a service ace for Queens as we start set number 3. It was served by Mallory Swartz, the setter for the Royals.
Off to a hot start. This is going to be a hot set.
Jay Douglas, Blake Collins bringing you all the action. Here is Swartz's serve. Gonzalez, Beck for Hedrick. The float over is dug out by Jones. In the middle is blocked. It is still on the Queens side, but it'll finally be Augusta's point. Great effort by the Royals to try and save the point, but they could not. Ties the set up at 1.
Get it there. The defense of Augusta just a little bit, just by merely centimeters, time that just before Queens got up, and that's what counteracted that kill from Queens, and now we're all deadlocked at 1.
Gouveia serving, Swartz to Tarvin. Holland Martin digs it out, though. Mackenzie Beck for Gonzalez, and that was touched regardless. I don't know if Proziniak touched it or if it came off the block, but Augusta gets the point regardless.
Yeah, Gonzalez elected to go with a little bit more length on that kill instead of straight power, and it worked beautifully for Augusta.
2-1 Augusta here in set 3. They lead the match 2-0. J.C. Jones saves it. Tarvin plays it over, but no. She had to play it over because it was going to be 4 touches anyways, and it went into the net. Point to the Jags. They get out to a hot start a la set number 2, 3-1 in favor of Augusta. See if Gouveia can extend the lead for the Jags. Here's the lefty serve. Tarvin, Swartz, back to Tarvin. Holland Martin, Mackenzie Beck for Victoria Wade. Kill for Wade.
That was all set up by the serve from Gouveia. You kept it over here. You tried to get Tarvin on the initial dig. She dug it out, but she didn't direct it. So it popped up. Then that left the left open, and the Jags seized on that and seized the day and created their 4th point off of that opening on the far side.
Tarvin found the back. Mackenzie Beck is wanting to call it out, but they will not. They're going to call it in. Everybody on Augusta's side is saying, why is it called in, but the call's going to stand.
That's one of those that hurts when it doesn't go your way and it's too close to comfort. But credit to Queens to making it look that close.
I have a gripe here for a moment, but I'll tell you after the set. Gonzalez, good save by Queens. Hedrick tries to kill it, dug out by Tarvin. Swartz for Proziniak. Gonzalez, Beck. It was probably was going to go out, but Tarvin touched it. Okay, So we have gotten to the point now
Right.
with technology. There is now review in high school football. It's never had that.
Yeah.
Can challenges make their way down from Division I to Division II?
You would hope so because, I mean, Division II is only a microscopic step lower from Division I. And look no further than the Augusta men's basketball team defeating South Carolina last week. For that, they edged them out 77-72, I think. But from that standpoint, yeah, you would think, because even baseball at this point, as stringent as they were on the human eye test, they incorporated replay 3 years ago.
Right.
So from this type of element, it wouldn't take maybe 30 seconds like you see in basketball to go to a video monitor, to review it, to be sure that what they're seeing and what they're calling is what happened. And yes, you don't want to alleviate the human eye test at all, because you want a compromise of both.
Right.
You want technology and review to happen, but you also want to go on the prestige and the integrity of the human eye to see what replay cannot show you.
Right. You definitely don't want to take out responsibility and seniority.
Absolutely.
Queens will get a point to make it 7-3. Augusta went on a mini run while we were shooting the breaks on replay.
Yeah. And also, too, you look at it, too. Okay, let's put it this way. The play in Houston, Boston-Houston, the Betts fan interference play.
Right.
They had a camera angle in right field, right? But you couldn't see that because of an official standing right where Betts tried to catch the ball. So there are angles that you can have. But in those type of scenarios where those angles cannot catch what you're wanting, that human eye test definitely works wonders, and it gets you about 70 to 75% right a lot of the times.
Brian Garmos had the ace. Augusta wraps up 2 straight points, and Queens will spend a timeout. Augusta leading 9-3 in set 3. They try and close it out with a sweep. Plenty more from the Christian Barrier Fieldhouse in just a couple of moments. Like to welcome everybody back out to the Christian Barrier Fieldhouse. Jay Douglas, Blake Collins, Augusta and Queens. 9-3, Augusta in front. They lead the match 2-0. Augusta's trying to even up the serve ace department. Queens has that lead at 7-3, with Garmos getting Augusta's 3rd service ace. We'll see if she can continue that on this service game. 9-3 Augusta in front. They try and close this one out via the sweep. Becerra, who's entered the game, sets it to Breziniak, and it's a kill. It hit our down official, but he still made the call, makes it 9-4.
That was laser-like from the get-go. The minute it left Becerra's hand right there, what velocity.
Chanel Turner serving for Queens, 9-4 Augusta in front. Here's the serve from Turner. Holland Martin for Garmos, out to Mackenzie Beck off the top of the block. Tarvin is there for Breziniak off the block. Gonzalez cannot save it. Makes it 9-5, Queens in front. Queens spinning that timeout. They have one left, trying to get a run out of that timeout.
2 consecutive points right off the bat, and there was not much Savannah could do because even her height couldn't help her there. She reached as high as she could, but that ball rotated and spun over Gonzalez and found the open spot.
Chloe Allen is blocked but out of play. Point to Jaguars. He's Blake. I'm Jay. Thank you so much for tuning us in. It's Halloween Eve, folks. Making your shopping plans to pick up your costumes, candy, whatever you want to do. Just be safe tomorrow night. Savannah Gonzalez serving 10-5. Becerra for Breziniak. Past Holland Martin, and Savannah Gonzalez gives the kill for Queens, and they now trail 10-6, and Breziniak will serve for the Royals. Here is the Prziniak serve. Gonzalez couldn't adjust, played it under the net. That is against the rules and a point for Queens.
Yeah, hit it with the right velocity, right direction on it, and it gives you no leeway for trying to correct the error and correct the velocity on it. And Savannah did all she could there, but just could not enough height under that dig.
Becerra sets to Tarvin off the top of the block. Violation somewhere. I think Chloe Allen was in the net. Allen or Gonzalez again in the net for the Jaguars. I think it's Chloe Allen. She's playing up front in this rotation. 10-8, Augusta in front. Here's the Prziniak serve. Garmos for Allen. Dug out by Prziniak beautifully. Gonzalez, Garmos, Chloe Allen finds the kill that time. 11-8 in favor of Augusta.
When you concentrate 5 players up in the front court, it leaves your back court exposed with only the libero to try to cover so much ground that it's impossible to cover every inch of the backcourt, and the Jags attacked, seized that opportunity, and converted on their 11th.
Garmos for Chloe Allen for Alyssa Frazier, dug out by Prziniak. Becerra for Tarvin, dug out by Gonzalez. Garmos comes to get it. Chloe Allen will play it over. Prziniak digs it out again. They go to Witt. Gonzalez for Garmos. For Mackenzie Beck, she's blocked. Allen is there though. Garmos. Frazier. Is that going to go out? Prziniak played it anyways. Becerra set it to Logan Witt. Witt gets the kill, makes it 11-9. Witt will stay in, I'm sorry. Elmore comes in for J.C. Jones. Logan Witt will serve, a sophomore from Mossley, Virginia, in Clover Hill High School.
Yep, then you have another switch up with Chloe Allen going out and then Holland Martin cheating back into the matchup.
Service error for Queens, and Victoria Wade re-enters the game. Sharik Bryan Garmos exits. Mackenzie Beck serving for the Jags at 12-9. Tarvin for Becerra to Prziniak. And Holland Martin couldn't get over to save it, makes it 12-10.
The direction on that was crisp. The velocity on that was absolutely sizzling, and there wasn't much Holland could do. Maybe just react a touch sooner, but even still, she did all she could to try to get to that dig.
Mackenzie Beck to Wade. Becerra for J.C. Jones for Chanel Turner. In front of Holland Martin, makes it 12-11. Holland does not look 100%. Slow getting up. I'll tell you what I've noticed, and I just recently went to some Auburn volleyball games, so this is what I noticed.
Right.
Auburn uses a pad on the court, and we don't have a pad here, so definitely you're going to feel some of those falls on the hard wood.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, and the thing about it is, too, as gingerly as you can get on a hard floor like this, it hurts 3 times worse. So you may still be feeling the effects, not only on that point, but consistently 2 or 3 points down the line. That may play a factor, and that's what Queens capitalized on with those 2 consecutive points directed toward Holland Martin.
Well, Queens had tied the match up, but it's now 13-12. Augusta was blocked that allowed Queens to tie the match up, and then a service error gives Augusta the lead. So Augusta up 12-9, I believe, 3 straight points for Queens, but now Natalia Gouveia will get the serve back for the Jags. The senior lines it up. Prziniak to Becerra for Elmore. Gouveia digs it out. Mackenzie Beck back to Gouveia, just has to play it over. Prziniak for Becerra to Turner. Off of Mackenzie Beck. Hedrick tried to kill. Tarvin off of the block. Point to Queens, ties it up at 13.
And one more thing to that point. You see almost all the players here have knee pads on. That works, but it's so thin. It's almost like you see in wrestling with those thin wrestling mats on the outside.
Right.
It's so thin that it just helps you with the brace of it. It doesn't take the brunt of the assault on the knee, so that will still linger on for points after.
That went off of J.C. Jones, 14-13 in favor of Augusta. Some I haven't noticed it. No cheerleaders tonight. I guess the start time moved up.
Yeah.
Holland Martin serving for Augusta. Here's the serve. Prziniak. J.C. Jones can't get to it. Makes it 15-13 Augusta, trying to reestablish their lead.
They reestablished position very well, and they have Queens out of position, and they've got them on the back of their heels. Now it's just being able to capitalize on that and continue the pressure.
Proziniak is going to get a kill. It went through Victoria Wade, and Natalia Gouveia couldn't save it. Makes it 15-14. Logan Witt in, Lindsay Elmore out for Queens, and J.C. Jones will serve for the Royals. Sophomore from Littleton, Colorado, Chatfield High School.
And if you're Queens right now with that point to solidify only trailing by one, you have Augusta right where you want them.
This is Proziniak, dug out by Holland Martin. Mackenzie Beck for Victoria Wade off the block. J.C. Jones eats it up, but a violation double touch on Becerra. I believe that's the third time she's been called for that. Makes it 16-14.
Just a little bit of loss of concentration there was highly pivotal in turning the tide of this matchup. It's a swing from 1 to 2 points, but in this late in the game, 1 to 2 could feel like easily a 5 to 6 point lead.
There's a kill for Chanel Turner, makes it 16-15. Queens hanging around.
Yeah.
They've already spent a timeout in this set, so they have one left. Augusta with their full allotment of 2. Here's the serve from Chanel Turner. Holland Martin for Garmos for Mackenzie Beck. And off of Turner, kill for the Jags, makes it 17-15. Alyssa Frazier will enter the game for Augusta. Natalia Gouveia going out.
Yeah, she did. The form was absolutely excellent on Turner's part there. It was just a little bit beyond her reach.
That's a kill for Mackenzie Beck on the overpass, makes it 18-15. Augusta trying to get the lead and wrap this one up via the sweep. Savannah Gonzalez serving for the Jags. Tarvin for Becerra over on 2. Gonzalez eats it up though. Garmos is dug out by Tarvin. Becerra. Witt is blocked. Is it still alive? Out of play. Doesn't matter. 19-15 Augusta in front. And are we going to get a timeout? Yes, indeed. Queens spins their final timeout. 19-15 Augusta in front, trying to wrap it up. 3-0, get their 21st win of the season. Can they do it? We'll find out in a couple of minutes. Stay with us. (19-15) as we bring it back. Jay Douglas Collins here with you. Augusta in front. Queens using their final timeout. Set number 3. Augusta trying to close it out in a sweep. Savannah Gonzalez is serving for the Jags, serving from left to right as we call things. The okay from the official. Tarvin, Proziniak, back to Tarvin. Holland Martin, Garmos for Beck. Off the block, Tarvin is there though. Becerra for Proziniak. Gets the kill, makes it 19-16.
Chloe Allen got a piece of that volleyball and deflected it. The only bad thing about that, deflections tend to have a worse carom off of it. It went like a rainbow effect, deflected up and then went straight down, and then the defense could not respond quick enough to get the dig out.
Proziniak digs that attempt out. Becerra for Tarvin. Gonzalez will dig that one. Garmos for Allen. Proziniak there again. Becerra, back set, Turner. Holland Martin digs that one out. Chloe Allen, who wants it? Gonzalez. Proziniak again. Becerra. Witt is dug out by Garmos. Chloe Allen, Alyssa Frazier has to adjust. Off of Tarvin and out of play. 20-16, Augusta gets the point.
She was like, you know what? I'm going to give it my everything, reared back and just crushed it. And it's a good thing because that had the length to get just on a questionable call on the back corner, but Queens had the opportunity to try to dig it out. They touched it, and it didn't matter. Point went to Augusta.
Kill for Tarvin. Casey Tarvin, who's been somewhat quiet here in this set. The Queens team, Queens Royals, brings in Lindsay Elmore and Casey Snyder. 20-17, Augusta in front. See if Snyder can get her team on a run. Gonzalez, Garmos for Beck. Dug out by Turner. Set to Tarvin. Gonzalez is there. Garmos, middle, Hedrick. Dug out by Breziniak. Turner for Tarvin. Mackenzie Beck for Garmos for Alyssa Frazier. Dug out Breziniak. Back down, Jessica Hedrick on the overpass, makes it 21-17.
Well, that's taking charge of your own player right there when the ball comes to you. She noticed that there was a significant gap in the front court between the outside hitter and the middle blocker and didn't do much at all with it except just get her hands on it and just dip it down, spike it down into the Royal territory, and Augusta is cruising.
Mackenzie Beck on 2. Good dig by Elmore. Tarvin is blocked and in play. Hedrick and Wade, the tandem, makes it 22-17. The lead balloons to 5. Queens is out of timeout, so they just got to ride it out, hoping they can catch some momentum.
Yeah, and from a middle hitter's perspective, when you have a dig that sharp and that much spin and off the back of your heels, it's kind of a little bit almost impossible to readjust and try to manufacture a dig out of that for a second chance attack.
Tarvin will get a kill off the assist from Becerra. Makes it 22-18, and Alexandria Becerra, the freshman from San Antonio, goes back to serve at 22-18. It's gut check time for Queens. They are down in the match 2-0. They're down in the set 22-18. Mackenzie Beck for Alyssa Frazier, in there for a kill. 23-18, Augusta inching closer to closing out this match.
Man, oh man, that had seeing eyes to it. Nobody from Queens wanted to try to get a hand on it, and it just sizzled its way through to the backcourt, and the 23rd point is accounted for by Augusta.
Govea serving for the Jags. She replaces Alyssa Frazier. Out, 23-19. Service error for Augusta.
If Queens could orchestrate one more of those, it could just be what the doctor ordered to reset this Queens offense, reset this defense, and get them cooking in the right direction and try to tie this match up.
Holland Martin sets for Beck. Holland Martin will play it over. Tarvin for Becerra to Turner. Off the Beck dig, Govea for Gonzalez. Off of Becerra, coming to get it, Jones. Breziniak gets the kill on the short dump over, makes it 23-20. Queens hanging around, but they cannot afford to trade points. They need to get on a run right here, right now, if they want to stay in this match.
Significant 2 consecutive runs is what they're looking for, but when you have everybody kind of covering the outside, like we talked about a little bit earlier, it opens up that middle, and Queens seized on that and created their 20th point off.
Natalia Govea for Mackenzie Beck for Victoria Wade off the block. 24-20, Augusta will get the match point. And Chloe Allen, who's been the supporter off the bench, enters the game for her team in this set point. Holland Martin serving for the Jags. Let's see if Augusta can close it out. Jones for Turner to Tarvin. Dug out by Mackenzie Beck. Holland Martin for Savannah Gonzalez. Off of Tarvin. Becerra for Breziniak. In there for a kill. It splits Govea and Martin. Makes it 24-21. Queens hanging around. They bring in Logan Witt and they replace Lindsay Elmore and J.C. Jones serving for the Royals, trying to keep them in it. Govea. Mackenzie Beck. Chloe Allen. Out, no touch. 24-22. Queens inching a little closer. Coach Quarles has 2 timeouts. If Queens scores here, I think she would use it.
Right, and then here's the thing, too. Every point from here on out puts more pressure on Augusta to convert without any flawless miscues or errors, and that's what Queens is trying to implement on Augusta and force them to do.
That is a kill for Logan Witt. Makes it 24-23 on the overpass. And Quarles will take the timeout. Her team up by 1, but Queens is showing their fight and tenacity, making it 24-23. Gut check time for both teams.
Yep, and one more thing, too. This timeout will definitely help Augusta, but it might have an adverse effect on what Augusta wants it to do, because you're giving Queens a break, you're giving Queens a chance to re-strategize, reinvigorate, when they're already energized to try to tie this and maybe even capture the set. So it does help Augusta, but it also helps immensely on the Royal sideline too, to take that step, to climb that mountain and see if they, with a last-second charge, can tie this matchup up and possibly take this third set.
Well, Queens will be serving. We'll look at Douglas Blake with you. We're not done yet, folks. Do not touch that dial. Do not click away. We're not done yet. J.C. Jones serving for the Royals. The Royals down by 1. Augusta has a timeout left. Holland Martin for Mackenzie Beck. Savannah Gonzalez dug out by Jones. Becerra to Przeniak. She is blocked, but it's dug out. J.C. Jones for Turner, and it worked! Queens comes back down 24-20 to tie the set up at 24 apiece, and now we play sudden death. Got to win by 2.
Whenever you're fighting for your life like that, you get the best of their game. You get the focus, you get the grit, you get the tenacity. You get everything wrapped up into one, and that helped Queens secure their tying 24th point.
Witt is blocked. Becerra, Jones for Turner. Dug out by Beck. Gouveia. Gouveia played it, but Holland Martin was in position. That is a interesting play from the senior. 25-24, Queens catches a break. Let's see if they can win the set because of it.
Yeah, miscommunication drastically affected that play for Augusta, and now they're back in a hole.
And there's the set. Queens picks themselves up off the mat, and we will play on. They trailed 24-20. They outscore Augusta 6-0 to take set 3. We play on. Set 4 is coming your way in about 3 minutes. 2-1 Augusta in front. We'll see who can seize the momentum in set 4. Back in just a couple of minutes. Did you turn your computer off when it was 24-20 Augusta in front? Shame on you. Queens was able to come back and win set number 3. They outscored Augusta 6-0, I should say. 26-24, Queens wins set number 3. We play in set 4. Jay Douglas, Blake Collins saying, turn your computer back on. We're not done yet. Yep. Tune us back in. We got plenty more volleyball to go.
And once that first set hit the ground running and gave us that phenomenal first set with 32 overall accumulative points, we knew right from the jump then it was going to be a absolute phenomenal affair here today, and it is proving to be just that, with Augusta still up by 1 set. But Jay, it doesn't feel like that, because right now Queens has a fresh outlook on it. They still have 25 points to play.
Right.
Not only that, but they have Augusta on the back of their heels right now, right where Queens wants them. And if Queens can attack, right now would be the time to do it, to put the pedal to the metal and tie this set point up at 2.
Well, Queens definitely has the momentum. Casey Tarvin, by the way, 18 kills for her. Prezeniak with 12. Mackenzie Beck gets us going in set 4. Becerra for Elmore. Dug out by Gonzalez. Mackenzie Beck, Victoria Wade. Dug out by Becerra, but out of play. For Augusta, Mackenzie Beck, 11 kills, now make it 12. Alyssa Frazier, 9, and Jessica Hedrick and Chloe Allen both with 8. So Augusta ends the string of 6 straight points for Queens. Beck serving. Tarvin for Becerra. For Turner. Dug out by Holland Martin. Mackenzie Beck sets it for Frazier. Out of play, no touch, 1-1.
Yeah, Beck has definitely had her offensive touches with 12 kills, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
But she's had more of an impact this game on the assist game in terms of transitions and setups for different attacks that Augusta has executed flawlessly to gain points.
Victoria Wade, another kill for her, makes it 2-1. Natalia Gouveia enters the game for the Jags. I saw in that break Kim Krutzinger was in the lineup, so we might see her in this set. Krutzinger is a 6'2 junior from Colorado Springs, Colorado, via Jacksonville State.
Especially if there's a minor run coming in and you get enough of a gap to where you can play her valuable minutes to get her ready for the games to come with Aiken and Lander to follow suit the last 2 games of the season.
That is called a touch off the kill from Chanel Turner. 2 points apiece. Logan Witt coming in for the Royals, and J.C. Jones serving. That is way long. Yep. Good job by Gouveia to recognize that. Makes it 3-2. Here comes Krutzinger. She'll come in for Jessica Hedrick. So we've seen Blair Bolton a little bit. We've seen now Kim Krutzinger and Victoria Wade coming in as well. So a lot of rotations by Coach Quarles. Not the same girls that we've seen before. At the net, Gonzalez gets the kill, makes it 4-2. Augusta in front.
And the thing that makes it tough to play them is they have each individual nuances that they bring to the overall aspect of the Augusta game that Queens has not accounted for yet and cannot until they get into the game and then see if they can adjust out of it.
Prezeniak is dug out by Holland Martin. Mackenzie Beck sets it for Victoria Wade, dug out by Becerra. J.C. Jones for Turner, dug out by Gouveia. Mackenzie Beck sets it to Wade again. Becerra there to dig it out. J.C. Jones for Turner. Dug out Holland Martin. Mackenzie Beck for Gonzalez. Blocked back and can't be saved. It was Chanel Turner and Logan Witt who got the double team tandem block.
Great kill from the Royals there. And not only that, but it was well placed to where 3 defenders for the Jags, Martin, Gouveia, and Wade, could not come up with a dig.
Victoria Wade tried to save it, could not. Took a hard spill, but she's up. Makes it 4-4. So 4-4 is your score. Augusta led 4-2, and now Queens has come back to tie it up. Chanel Turner is the server for the Royals. That is a service error. Makes it 5-4. So Garmos will enter the game for Wade and will serve.
And if you're through Garmos' eyes right now, you see a gaping hole over to the near side, over to her left, and she attacks that particular spot.
Prezeniak, dug out by Martin. Garmos sets for Mackenzie Beck. It is pushed over, but out of play. So Beck tried to change up her hit, and it did not work to Augusta's advantage. 5-5 your score here in set 4. Augusta leading the match 2-1. Queens trying to force us into a 5th. Prezeniak for Gonzalez. Garmos comes to get it. Mackenzie Beck. Can't be dug out by J.C. Jones. Kill for Mackenzie Beck. 6-5, Augusta in front. Alyssa Frazier set to enter the game for the Jags. Gouveia going out.
Garmos again, though, has a huge impact on that play. She started on the far side after that serve, comes over from the far side, over to the near side, digs that out and sets back up beautifully for the kill.
That is dug out by Holland Martin. Mackenzie Beck pushes it for Becerra. Tarvin is there. Dug out Holland Martin. Garmos pushes it to Frazier. She's blocked. Mackenzie Beck. Garmos middle. Krutzinger's dug out. J.C. Jones. Becerra for Witt. Dug out by Garmos. Holland Martin for Mackenzie Beck. Blocked back. Martin is there, though. Gonzalez for Frazier. Did it. There's no violation. We're still in play here. Mackenzie Beck. Garmos. Frazier. That's a kill. 7-5, Augusta leads. Augusta wanted some violation on Queens, no dice, and then I thought that Augusta had played it out, but it was saved, so the point finally went to the Jags. Becerra for Tarvin. Frazier for Garmos on 2. It's still alive. Jones and Tarvin had a miscommunication, makes it 8-5, Augusta in front. Savannah Gonzalez serving for the Jags. 8-5 is your score. Proziniak set to Witt. Dug out by Holland Martin. Garmos for Gonzalez. Off of Turner, and a kill for Jags makes it 9-5.
She had her base and everything under her. She just could not get that dig set up right as that ball deflected high off the shoulder, and they just could not recuperate fast enough.
Tarvin wanted to go with a soft dump over but could not get it, and Queens will spend a timeout. Augusta has rattled off 5 straight points. They lead at 10-5. Queens has done a phenomenal job coming out of timeouts to get back in the set. We'll see if that holds true when we come back out of this timeout. Queens spending the timeout, 10-5 Augusta in set 4. I'd like to welcome everybody back out to the Christian Berry Fieldhouse. Augusta and Queens doing battle. 10-5, Jaguars in front. Queens spending the timeout. Jay Douglas, Blake Collins here with you. Savannah Gonzalez serving for the Jags. Waiting for the word. There it is. Here's the serve. Proziniak to Becerra for Witt, and it can't be saved by the Jags, and Gonzalez is slow to get up, as her and Beck were converging. 10-6 in favor of Augusta. Substitutions for Queens. Casey Snyder in, as well as Lindsay Elmore.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal job by Becerra. They're not letting the Jags' defense get stabilized in their defense, keeping their feet moving, and then when you have your feet moving and going in a different direction, then when the ball's going, it's hard to readjust to react back to the ball, and that's where it came back and bit the Jags.
Garmos sets to Frazier, dug out by Proziniak. Becerra for Tarvin. Holland Martin, Garmos comes to get it. Mackenzie Beck, dug out by Turner. Becerra for Turner once more. Garmos for Holland Martin for Mackenzie Beck. Dug out by Proziniak. Set to Elmore. Garmos for Holland Martin for Alyssa Frazier. Dug out. Beck will get it on the overpass. Kurtzinger is blocked. Garmos for Martin. For Beck again. Blocked back, and a point for Queens. It was Lindsay Elmore and Casey Tarvin on the tandem. Gets the point for the Royals. Makes it 10-7. 2 points out of that timeout. Something that I mentioned.
Yeah, get on a small run here and make it a game if you're Queens, but stout blocking up front denies Augusta a point right there.
That is way long from Snyder, makes it 11-7. Augusta will take that. Jessica Hedrick in for the Jags, and the Royals making a change as well. Number 18, J.C. Jones back in. Here's Krutzinger's first serve as she entered the game in this set. Her first serve is in play. Proziniak for Becerra to Elmore, and Krutzinger cannot recover as Elmore punched it over into the back part of the court. Krutzinger now exits, Holland Martin back in.
It's like the old adage goes in baseball. If you're new in, and this goes with any sport, if you're newly cemented into the game, the ball will find you, and it did Krutzinger right there, and she could not capitalize.
Frazier gets a kill. I thought you were going to use hit it where they aren't.
Well, that too, that as well, because for the last three consecutive points outside of one miscue from Augusta, Queens has been doing that, making Augusta roam their side of the court all the way through, making them search for the ball, and they've, as right there too, they've been able to keep Augusta off balance, and that's something to what you were saying, keep them off system to be able to capitalize and come back.
12-9 is your score. Queens is serving. It's Casey Tarvin serving for the Royals. Savannah Gonzalez, Mackenzie Beck for Frazier. Dug out by Tarvin. Becerra sets to Przeniak and missed it, no touch. Makes it 13-9. Natalia Gouveia will enter for the Jags. Alyssa Frazier going out, and Gouveia will go back to serve. 13-9, Augusta in front, trying to close it out in 4 sets and not have to play a 5th. Queens hoping for different. Gouveia set for the serve. Here it is. Przeniak for Becerra for a kill for Lindsay Elmore. Lindsay Elmore, a freshman from China Grove, North Carolina, gets the kill, makes it 13-10. This is where we were in set 4. Queens just hanging around enough. Goes to what I said in the pregame. Hang around enough, try and steal it at the end. Holland Martin for Mackenzie Beck for Hedrick. Dug out. It's an overpass. Gonzalez will kill it back down. Point for the Jags.
Queens had no chance at that. With that high and that close to selling on your side, and with that wide open of a court trying to get a position to dig that out, Queens had no shot at trying to dig that out. An emphatic 14th point by Savannah Gonzalez.
Holland Martin hits the net. Service error, 14-11. Augusta in front. Chanel Turner will serve for the Royals. Here's the Turner serve. Out wide, good communication by Augusta not to play it. Sharik Brian Garmos will re-enter as Victoria Wade goes out. 15-11 is the score. 15-11, Augusta serving. J.C. Jones, Becerra for Turner. Gouveia will play it. Wasn't sure if she touched it. Apparently not. No violation. Becerra, middle for Witt is blocked. Krutzinger. On that play where Garmos and Gouveia converged, apparently Garmos hit it, but it was very close. I think that's what Queens is asking about. Did Gouveia touch it?
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, too, the communication is not where it ought to be for both squads, but I would honestly like to see more of a situation, especially on high setups and high floatovers, to dig it out to where you say, okay, you take a baseball approach to it and say, I've got it, I got it. So that way you let the whole squad know that it's your ball to dig out, so where there's no miscommunication, no collisions, and hopefully coming off of those collisions, if there are, nobody getting injured.
Well, Kim Krutzinger gets a block, makes it 17-11. Turner, back to Tarvin, plays it over and out. Good job by Gouveia to know that it was going long, move out of the way, makes it 18-11.
The difference with that is we're at Christenberry, and they're playing in front of like 30 to 40,000 people in baseball, but still the same concept roams around to where if you say you have it, then you let everybody know that it's your ball and not to infringe on that and set up for the attack or the defense.
That is off the block, point to Augusta, and I think Queens will take their final timeout. They will. They trail 19-11. They trailed by 4 in set 3 and were able to come back. Augusta hoping that does not repeat itself. We'll see if they can close it out. They are 6 points away from doing so. Come back and join us for the finish. Welcome everybody back to the Christian Berry Fieldhouse. Jay Douglas, Blake Collins on hand for the finish, hopefully. Augusta 6 points away from wrapping up the match. They lead it 19-11. Queens spending their final timeout. We'll see if it pays dividends because they have been great out of timeouts thus far in the match. It's going to be Turner, Gouveia for Garmos, for Krutzinger, in there for a kill. Valuable minutes from Kim Krutzinger, and she is making the most of it, makes it 20-11.
And that is one of the hardest things to do, to squeeze it in between an obtuse angle of 90 degrees in between the back right or back left half of the court. And that takes tremendous precision, and she did that with beauty right there.
Violation on Becerra, double touch, makes it 21-11. And Coach Hannah Long is going to protest that was not a double touch. It's tough in real time, but she's fighting for her team. Tarvin to Becerra for Witt in the middle. Garmos to Gonzalez. Dug out by Tarvin. Set out to Brasiniak. Dug out by Garmos. Gouveia sets it for Gonzalez. And in there, past Tarvin, makes it 22-11. Augusta rolling now, up by 11.
Two setups to go straight to the kill. That was electric all the way around, and then the finishing touches split defenders all the way through, and Augusta with a huge 11-point lead.
Jones and Witt off the set, dug out by Gouveia. Garmos sets it to Beck. She is blocked by Prasiniak. Makes it 22-12. Queens will need more of that if they want to play themselves back into the set and match and keep their hopes alive for winning the match.
Absolutely. So you're looking to at least go on a 5-1 run, if not 7-1 or 8-0 run here.
There's an error from Mackenzie Beck, makes it 22-13. So Prosiniak will continue to serve, makes it 22-13 off the Beck error. Holland Martin, Garmos can't save it. So an ace for the Royals. 3 straight points. Prosiniak tries to keep the pressure on the Jags. Still comfortable if you're Augusta, but got to make some plays. Gonzalez for Garmos, for Krutzinger. That's what they need, but a beautiful dig by Jones and Prosiniak. Garmos for Krutzinger. She's blocked, and it cannot be saved. Logan Witt on the block solo makes it 22-15. And we knew Queens was going to fight. They were not going to go down easy. We knew that they were going to put up a fight before it was all said and done.
Well, when you have heart on display like Jones and Brasiniak did on that kill, it's going to be a fight to the finish, and that's what Augusta has geared up for, especially with that Friday game against Francis Marion. But I don't think they thought anything like this, but Queens is continuously fighting back with their lives, and they are trying to make an impact here in this decisive set.
Gonzalez tries to close the door a little bit. Tarvin on the attempt. Garmos, Frazier had to adjust. Prosiniak for Becerra to Witt. Dug out by Garmos. Martin for Mackenzie Beck. She's off the top of the block. Becerra digs it out. Jones for Tarvin, trying to come alive, but she is blocked. Krutzinger once again gives Augusta match point. 9 match points for the Jaguars.
Got Krutzinger and Beck right there, and it is hard to penetrate. And when you have stops like that, it only brings up your confidence level.
Garmos for Holland Martin. For Alyssa Frazier, no violation. Holland Martin touched it twice. Makes it 24-16. Queens fends off match point for the moment. They bring in Lindsay Elmore and Casey Snyder in this rotation. So they will be without J.C. Jones, their libero, for the rest of the set because they need to rattle off straight points. So she will not be seen if Queens can rally. Garmos for Krutzinger, missed it, no touch. 24-17.
It's not impossible, and as Vince Scully said, in an impossible season, the improbable can happen. So you look at it now. They have to rattle off 7 straight points here to even tie this contest up.
Savannah Gonzalez, an ace for Snyder. I'll tell you what, Snyder has been their best server for the Royals. So anybody with the match on the line, she's the one you want.
Absolutely. No doubt. Her and Brasiniak as well on Queens' side, especially now with Jones out. And Jones has been the lightning rod on defense for Queens.
Well, Mackenzie Beck puts a stop to all that, gets the final kill for Augusta, and Augusta takes the match in 4 sets. They win it 25-18. So there was no letdown for the Jags. They bounce back from giving up set 3, and they go on to win the match to go 21-5. Queens now falls to 12-14, ahead of 2 big Peach Belt Conference games for the Jags, able to take care of their business.
Yeah, a critical contest to get the Jags ready for what is to come. Remember back about a month to a month and a half ago, the Jags squared off against Lander, who came in here and beat the Jags, and then in Aiken, they put the victory to Aiken there. So 2 critical matchups to close out the season against those 2. We have Aiken first and then Lander on their home courts. As far as this game goes, Queens came in here. They played with their hearts. They brought it to Augusta and made a lot of sets interesting and made it to where Augusta had to fight more than what they had bargained for, which again gets them set up for their test down the road. But for Queens, phenomenal play, great execution on all fronts. They just ran into a brick wall at the end. That is Augusta University.
Final stats for you. Casey Tarvin for the Royals. She came in leading the team in kills. No surprise that she led the team tonight, 19 for her. Jordan Prezeniak was 3rd on the team. She was 2nd tonight with 12. Chanel Turner with 11. She came in 4th on the team entering the match. 8 for Logan Witt and 4 for Lindsay Elmore. They did a good job in the middle for the Royals. On the other side for the Jags, Mackenzie Beck came alive late. 14 kills to her. She came in 2nd on the team, so she leads the Jaguars. Savannah Gonzalez, who came in leading with kills, had 10. 11 for Alyssa Frazier, who was 5th on the team. Not the typical go-to, but she made the most of her opportunities with 11 kills. Hedrick and Chloe Allen both had 8. Victoria Way entered the game and had 6, and Kim Krutzinger came in that 4th set and made the most of her opportunities. She had 2. So, Blake, some final thoughts as we wrap this one up. The final home match of the season. Great to see Augusta go out with a W.
Yeah, phenomenal effort on Augusta's behalf, led by Savannah Gonzalez, Mackenzie Beck, Natalia Govea, Blair Bolton, who were the 4 seniors here. Phenomenal win to cap off their regular season home closeout game. And we had an emotional send-off Saturday for those 4 individuals, but tip of the cap to them for, in the case of Govea and Beck, 2 phenomenal years. Gonzalez and Blair Bolton rounded out a 4-year tenure here at Augusta University for their home matchup. Phenomenal play from everyone all the way around. It set Augusta up very well for years to come, but they are hungry. They are absolutely fierce, focused, and determined, and they're gonna face off against giants in the playoffs when they get to that point, but they've got to go through Aiken and Lander first. Those 2 critical games will have huge implications in terms of seeding, and let's not sell this game short either. This could be a regional matchup in the playoffs if Augusta moves on to that stage.
Augusta finishes their home record of 13-3. They now control their own destiny. If they beat Aiken and beat Lander, and Aiken somehow loses to Georgia College, which isn't impossible,
right,
Augusta will have the tiebreaker, and they will be your Peach Belt regular season champions. We wish Coach Quarles and the team all the best. Team stats for you before we get out of here. 59 kills for Augusta compared to 54 for Queens. Percentage .202 for Augusta, .144 for Queens. Digs 111 for Augusta, 106 for Queens. The assist 53 for Augusta, 50 for Queens. Errors overall 25 for Queens, 19 for Augusta. The stats finished somewhat close. The match was a little bit closer than maybe the final set would show you, but it was a great effort from Queens. They are now 2 games below 500. With 2 games left, they can get themselves to 500 and put themselves in a position to be in the NCAA tournament, like you mentioned, Blake.
Absolutely, and going by what we saw here, even though they are trying to get to 500, if they make it to that point, watch out. They can be a sleeper team going on through.
That's going to do it for this game, folks. It was a great volleyball season. I only lost 1 time on my visit, 4-1. Happy to serve Augusta again. hopefully we'll be able to speak during baseball season and maybe even basketball season. I was informed today that basketball season could be open for me to make some trips, so I look forward to those times as well. Speaking of basketball, the basketball team is out practicing in front of us right now.
And one more thing, too. A phenomenal season capped off with only 5 losses and 3 conference losses. That's not easy to do. So a phenomenal job from all of the Augusta girls volleyball squad and the seniors in here. A phenomenal season. Job well done. Thank you for playing with your hearts. And James, we will probably see each other in basketball season.
Yeah, hope to do that. Hope to provide my services to Augusta. I love coming up here. It's a great facility, and we wish Coach Quarles and the team all the best in their future endeavors. They got 2 games left in the regular season, then the conference tournament, then hopefully the NCAA tournament. Hopefully Augusta can make a deep run. That's going to be all for tonight, folks. Augusta takes it 3-1. They win 32-30, 25-20, 24-26, and then 25-18. Augusta now 21-5, 7-3 in conference play. Queens now 12-14. So Augusta, with 2 games left, control their own destiny. Hopefully they can raise a banner saying Peach Belt Conference champions. For Blake, I'm Jay saying we'll talk to you next time. Good night, everybody.